While lots of money may be flowing out, even more money seems to flow back in for the billionaires in today's video. Join me as we take a look at 15 interesting and expensive things bought by billionaires. Number 15. Elon Musk's Lotus Esprit. When you're as rich as Elon Musk, money really is no object. You can throw it in the trash, set fire to it, or flush it down the toilet like it's nothing. Or you use it to buy all of the toys you'll need to fulfill all your childhood fantasies. When he's not building flamethrowers or shooting cars into space, Musk is on the hunt for some quality memorabilia. The mega billionaire bought the Submarine car from the 1977 James Bond film The Spy Who Loved Me at an auction for just under $1 million. Perhaps serving as an inspiration to the owner of Tesla, the Lotus Esprit made waves nearly 50 years ago when it turned from a street speedster to a submarine with just the push of a button. However, much to Musk's dismay, the car is no more than a prop. That is, a car with no wheels, some fins, and a propeller glued on, thanks to some movie magic. But seeing as how money is no object, he took it as an open challenge and revealed his plans to upgrade the near $1 million prop so it could travel both on the roads and under the sea. And it was reportedly only to cost him about $100,000, so no one has yet to see the tech tycoon riding around in this thing, but maybe that's because he prefers to keep it underwater. Number 14. The Bezos Museum. Being a billionaire is tough. When you have so much money, it can be hard to know where to spend it all. Sure, you could buy a new house, or you could take a page out of Jeff Bezos' book and buy a former textile museum and then turn it into a house. In 2017, Jeff Bezos came forward as the anonymous buyer of the $23 million space, and shortly thereafter revealed his $12 million expansion and renovation plan, which included 25 bathrooms, 11 bedrooms, 5 living rooms, 2 kitchens, 2 libraries, 2 workout rooms, 2 elevators, and a ballroom. Well, despite owning a mansion in Texas and calling Seattle his home base, Bezos began to combine 2 separate properties that date to the early 1900s into one home for his family. The mansion's located in a neighborhood with people including the Obamas and Ivanka Trump, so perhaps he thought he could just keep up with the Joneses maybe. The home, which he paid for not only in cash but $1 million over the asking price, is the largest in Washington and just about the right size for the billionaire and his 4 children. Number 13. The Codex Leicester. The Codex Leicester, or the Codex Hammer, is a collection of scientific writings by the great Leonardo da Vinci. Obviously, something like this fetched a high price as it changed hands over the centuries, but it was given its current name in 1717 after it was purchased by Thomas Cook, the Earl of Leicester. The manuscript currently holds the record for the 5th highest sale of any book and was sold to billionaire Bill Gates at a Christie's auction house on November 11, 1994, in New York for a whopping $30,802,500. If you were to adjust that number for inflation, you're looking at a price tag of well over $56 million. This historic notebook is leather-bound and consists of just 36 sheets, 29 by 22 centimeters in size. The manuscript does not take the form of a single linear script, but is rather a mixture of Leonardo's observations and theories on astronomy, the properties of water, rocks, and fossils, air, and celestial light. You know, just the typical thoughts of a genius. But don't think that this old codex is just sitting on Gates's bookcase next to a computer programming for dummies book. The Codex Leicester has been unbound with each page individually mounted between glass panes. It's put on public display once a year in a different city around the world, and for the 500th anniversary of Da Vinci's death, the Codex Leicester was on display from October 29, 2018 to January 20, 2019 in Florence. Bill Gates is also known for being an avid reader, so it kind of makes sense that he would nerd out over this codex. Number 12. Private islands. When you're a billionaire, you don't have to settle for living in just one place. In fact, if you love a place so much, you can just cut out the middleman, bypass buying a house there, and just buy the land that it sits on. It's no secret that the rich and powerful love their private islands. Austrian billionaire Dietrich Mateschitz and his 3,500-acre Laukala Island, which is virtually untouched by man and covered in a tropical rainforest and gorgeous white sand beaches and coconut palms. Mateschitz bought Laukala in 2003 for $10 million from the Forbes family, and he's since transformed the island into a super luxurious all-inclusive eco-resort that's now home to an 18-hole golf course. a wellness center, its own airstrip, and a collection of 5 restaurants and bars offering everything from beachside barbecues to fine dining experiences. Then there's Richard Branson's Necker Island, which was host to the who's who of celebrities and the filthy rich, from the Obama family to Prince Harry to Google's own Larry Page. Even Hollywood actress Kate Moss found it the perfect place to ring in her 40th birthday. And while those private islands are certainly as spectacular as they are self-indulgent, they pale in comparison to Larry Ellison owning 98% of the Hawaiian island Lanai. Ellison spent an estimated $300 million on his Pacific Island purchase in June of 2012. It's relatively untouched. Lanai has no traffic lights or shopping malls and features 90,000 acres of land, a 3,200-person town, and 2 four-season resorts. A room at one of these 5-star hotels starts at around $1,800 a night. Number 11. Trips into space. During the Cold War, the United States and the former Soviet Union entered the space race, where, for better or worse, both countries pushed themselves and the other to the limits of technology and engineering to see who could reach the stars first. There was great success on both sides as the Soviet Union and the United States continued to set the bar higher and higher for the other. Nowadays, it would seem that billionaires are duking it out to see which one of them can make it into space first. It's an odd kind of race to enter, but like it or not, it's already underway. Billionaires like Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, and Richard Branson have poured billions of dollars into their respective personal spaceflight programs: Blue Origin, SpaceX, and Virgin Galactic. Bezos in particular coughed up over $5.5 billion for 4 minutes in suborbital space in a cowboy hat aboard his Blue Origin vessel. But what sets this pretentious space race apart from that of the past is these competing billionaires are not inventing new technology. Instead, it's a race to see who can buy the better parts and better engineers. In a world with massive heat waves, hunger, and natural disasters, it would seem these billionaires would rather turn their tails up towards the vast nothingness of space. But even multi-millionaires are literally hopping on board to get to the space trend, with celebrities like Ashton Kutcher putting down a $20,000 deposit on a $200,000 ticket to space, and Katy Perry buying a full ticket for the same price for her husband Russell Brand before their divorce. Number 10. Steve Cohen's Shark. Steve Cohen is a hedge fund manager in New York with about $24.4 billion in assets under him. The guy's got a lot of money, and he certainly knows how to spend it. And while plenty of millionaires and billionaires love to show off their aquatic fantasies by installing giant fish tanks in their multiple homes, Cohen turned up the dial to 11 with his unique purchase. In 2004, the hedge fund manager bought quite a piece of contemporary art: a 14-foot tiger shark perfectly preserved in alcohol and formaldehyde. Why? Well, ask him. This pickled shark was originally purchased for $93,000 in 1992 by art mogul Charles Saatchi, entitled The Physical Impossibility of Death in the Mind of Someone Living. But by the time it caught Cohen's eye, the price shot up dramatically. While Cohen bought the piece for an undisclosed amount, media sources have reported he paid anywhere between $8 and $12 million for this apex predator. It may be a pretty penny for an ugly installation, but Steve Cohen is known for sinking his teeth into contemporary art, and when he smells blood in the water, he always goes in for the kill, no matter the dollar amount. Number 9. Sports teams. Millions, if not billions, of people around the world love sports. There are plenty of die-hard fans who never miss a game, and some of them are lucky enough to become season ticket holders. But if you love a team so much, then why not just buy it? Well, that's what millionaires and billionaires love to do. It's an enormous risk, but owning a successful sports team can prove to be an enormous reward as well. Hedge fund manager Steve Cohen paid $2.4 billion to buy the New York Mets. Microsoft billionaire Steve Ballmer paid $2 billion for the Los Angeles Clippers. And perhaps most famously, Mark Cuban paid $285 million for the Dallas Mavericks in 2000. Because I guess if you're not good enough to play on the team, why not just buy it? Most of the return on investment in a sports team doesn't come from things like ticket sales. Instead, owners are looking to turn a profit through endorsements, TV deals, advertisements, and sponsorship. But if you're really looking to score some extra cash, one of the billionaires can just throw their name onto the stadium itself. Number 8. Clive Palmer's Titanic 2. Some rich people settle for luxury yachts, maybe even super yachts, but for Australian businessman and politician Clive Palmer, that simply will not do. Instead, Palmer opted for the most famous ship in history, the Titanic. And while the ill-fated ship has been sitting on the floor of the Atlantic Ocean since 1912, he commissioned the Titanic II, a nearly exact replica of the doomed 9-deck White Star Line ship, right down to the staircase we saw in the 1997 film. But this Titanic 2.0 is updated for modern travel, which thankfully includes enough lifeboats for everyone on board. Building a new Titanic is a pretty odd move, and Clive Palmer has been known for making some eccentric financial choices, and this one in particular has been reported to cost the man $500 million so far. Number 7. Sultan of Brunei's car collection. The Sultan of Brunei is known around the world for his massive car collection, amassing about $5 billion worth of vehicles. It's said that he owns 380 Bentleys and another 600 Rolls-Royce, many of which are diamond-encrusted or gold-plated. But his Silver Spur 2 is still somehow his flashiest. Rolls-Royce produced their Silver Spur 2 from 1989 to 1993, but the Sultan of Brunei ordered his own custom version for his wedding day. Not only did he request it to be a stretch limousine, but he also wanted it plated with 24-karat gold. The Sultan bought the car in 1996, and despite the ornate detail that went into it alongside the gold plating, it doesn't get much use. As it turns out, the Sultan of Brunei likes to go fast, and this Rolls-Royce Silver Spur 2 is all about the look, meaning the only way for onlookers to appreciate it is to drive it nice and slow. There was once a time when the Sultan of Brunei was the richest person in the world, which is how he was able to afford this $14 million future piece of automobile history. Number 6. Paul Allen's Yellow Submarine. Alright, this next entry is the perfect thing for all the Beatles fans out there. The late great Paul Allen, the co-founder of Microsoft, has his $12 million Yellow Submarine, also known as Pagoo, sitting in the tender of his multi-million-dollar mega yacht. Not many people knew that Allen was an avid sea explorer, but his 40-foot Yellow Submarine was the perfect vessel for the eccentric billionaire. It can hold up to 10 people, dive for 8 hours at a time, and reach depths of up to 1,000 feet. It can get pretty dark and mysterious down there, but Allen has said that if you just put on some Pink Floyd, it's not so scary anymore. Especially if he's accompanied by 9 of his friends. And, of course, the Yellow Submarine has multiple huge glass portholes so everyone inside can feast their eyes on what the ocean hides from us surface dwellers. Since Allen's unfortunate and untimely death, though, the Yellow Submarine was put up for sale and will hopefully be purchased by someone who had as much love for ocean exploration and as much money as he did. Number 5. Al Waleed's Flying Palace. The company may be known for quality passenger jets, but when it comes to luxury private aircraft, Airbus does it right, and so their A380 is no exception. The Airbus A380 is the largest passenger aircraft ever made, and it just so happens to be one of the heaviest, weighing in at about 1.3 million pounds. Because of these specs, this isn't the most popular or common choice for a luxury jet, but Prince Al-Waleed bin Talal of Saudi Arabia didn't care. He went ahead and bought one anyway for $600 million back in 2007 at the Dubai Air Show. And despite owning such a large and expensive toy, in true rich kid fashion, the prince never uses it. But that didn't stop him from going all out because his A380 is so tricked out that it's known as another one of his flying palaces. He added a car garage, a Turkish bath, and 2 decks of living and working spaces, with the top deck being VIP only, which probably changes depending on how the prince is feeling that day. Number 4. Roman Abramovich's Eclipse. Russian oligarch and politician Roman Abramovich is the former owner of Chelsea Football Club and is the primary owner of the private investment company Millhouse LLC. And credentials like that can explain his $9 billion net worth, and with that kind of money comes a lot of fun toys. But his crown jewel is the super yacht Eclipse. Built by Blohm & Voss of Hamburg, Germany, Eclipse is the 4th longest afloat today. Her exterior and interior were designed by Terence Disdale, and at 533 feet long, Eclipse was the world's longest private yacht until the Azzam was launched in April of 2013. The yacht's cost has been estimated at $500 million as of 2011 and comes with all sorts of bells and whistles to keep the billionaire happy. Eclipse has 2 helicopter pads, 24 guest cabins, and 2 swimming pools, several hot tubs, and a disco hall. It's also equipped with 3 launch boats and a mini submarine that's capable of submerging to 160 feet. Approximately 70 crew members are needed to operate the yacht and serve the guests. For security, Eclipse is fitted with a missile detection system, missile launchers, and self-defense systems. And with that much hardware, wealth, VIPs, and built-in defenses on board, you can rest assured that Eclipse isn't leaving port without his own private security force to keep him safe and sound as he soaks up the sun. Number 3. Antilia Tower. Antilia Tower in Mumbai, India is one of the most extravagant and expensive places to live in the world. The Antilia Tower was designed in part with Chicago architecture firm Perkins & Will and the Santa Monica hospitality design firm Hirsch Bedner Associates, all for one man, Indian businessman and billionaire Mukesh Ambani. And unlike your typical mega mansion, Antilia Tower builds not just out, but up with 400,000 square feet of space and 27 stories that Ambani doesn't have to share with anyone. And of course, this massive home has plenty of cool stuff inside, like a 50-seat movie theater, 6 floors devoted just to car storage, a car service station, a temple, and 9 high-speed elevators to get you from top to bottom and back again in a flash. Oh yeah, and don't forget about the snow room, a room that sprays snowflakes from its walls. It's absolutely insane. And to have his own private winter wonderland in India, Ambani spent between $1 and $2 billion on this place. Number 2. Sultan of Brunei's Boeing 747-430. The Sultan of Brunei, Hassan al-Bolkiah, is one of the richest ruling monarchs in the world, amassing his wealth through oil. And while we've already seen him today and his massive fleet of extravagant vehicles, he also has a knack for bringing his millions of dollars to the sky. He's got a whole fleet of aircraft, but his biggest and best is the Boeing 747-430. He paid $100 million just to buy the aircraft, and then spent another $120 million to outfit it more to his liking. This Boeing looks more like an exotic 5-star hotel room than it does a personal aircraft. The private master bedroom and bathrooms are all lined with gold and Lalique crystal, and the sink is gold-plated too. When you've got as much money as the Sultan of Brunei, you may as well spend it. The hallways are lined with gorgeous carpeting and lacquered wood, and much of the furniture on board has an aqua blue upholstery, keeping up with the royal colors. The Sultan is also a registered pilot, and it's not uncommon to see him flying his own luxury aircraft. Number 1. Azzam Superyacht. As of 2017, Lursen launched the largest superyacht in the world, the Azzam. Coming in at an enormous 180 meters, the Azzam beat out the previous record holder, 2009's Eclipse, by 15 meters. All in all, their yacht is almost the size of 2 American football fields. Talk about going long. Azzam, which is Arabic for dedication, lives up to its name as reportedly it took only 3 years to complete. It's one of the fastest super yachts in the world too, with its engines boasting 94,000 horsepower, allowing it to travel up to 30 knots. And naturally, something like the Azzam, which cost $605 million and took 4,000 people to build, must have a wealthy owner. But who in the world could afford such a vessel? Well, none other than Sheikh Khalifa bin Zayed Al Nahyan, the president of the United Arab Emirates and ruler of Dubai. When you step inside, you'll feel like you've entered his mansion. And while the exact details of Azzam's interior have been kept close to the chest, there has still been reports of some truly fantastic amenities. The interior is designed by famous French designer Christophe Léon, who had previously done work on the owner of Azzam's residences and palaces, so you can rest assured that he brought similar extravagant styles on board. It can accommodate up to 36 guests in 18 palatial cabins and maintains a crew of 60 people. Rumors have also circulated that there's a 6,000 square foot lounge and saloon on board, and all of the furniture is made of intricately carved and veneered wood with mother-of-pearl inlay. It's also been said that there's a grand chandelier on board that's been specially designed not to rattle as the ship cuts through the seas and at top speeds. And because the Sheikh holds such a high-profile position, his master suite is bulletproof, and there have been reports that Azzam has an onboard submarine and missile defense system. Even if that's true, I hope he never has to use it, because the Azzam is a modern marvel. Watch our binge-watching playlist if you'd like to watch all of our most popular top 15 videos. grab a drink, grab a snack, and get ready to binge.